Welcome everyone to today's explainer. Look, if you're a fabricator, a maker, or running a sign shop here in Canada, you already know the drill. Sourcing the right materials can absolutely make or break your project. So today, we're mapping out the ultimate maker's journey for acrylic fabrication. We're going to break down everything from raw materials sourcing and precise fabrication techniques to the exact pricing and logistics you need to keep your shop running smoothly. Okay, let's dive right into this. The absolute most crucial question facing sign shop owners and large-scale fabricators today is this: where on earth do you find batch-perfect acrylic? Think about it. When you're executing a massive multi-store rollout, or maybe designing a massive wayfinding system, the blue on that very first sheet has to perfectly match the blue on the 100th sheet. Inconsistent pigmentation? Yeah, that simply isn't an option when your business margins and brand identities are on the line. Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. Your Canadian acrylic supplier. 2. Colors, finishes, and pricing. 3. Inspiring applications and uses. 4. Fabrication and tech specs. And 5. Ordering, shipping, and perks. Let's start with Section 1, your Canadian acrylic supplier. So for Canadian makers, that trusted B2B source is Fidar System. You can find them right over at fidarsystem.com. Based out of North York, Ontario, they supply the entire country. Their secret weapon? Well, it's cell-cast PMMA. Basically, this means the acrylic is poured and cured slowly, which guarantees incredibly even pigmentation, a remarkably hard surface, and super tight thickness tolerances. And honestly, that is exactly the kind of consistency you absolutely need for professional, high-stakes fabrication. Moving right along to Section 2, colors, finishes, and pricing. Now, what's really interesting here is the sheer transparency in their pricing directly on the page at fidarsystem.com. You can literally build your vision without any of the usual guesswork. Clear acrylic sheets, which give you an awesome 92% light transmission, start at a really economical $37.97 CAD. Need premium fixtures? Black and neutral tones are going to start around $42. White, which is perfect for LED light boxes, is about $76, while their massive range of solid-colored acrylic sheets begins at $86.79. And if you're doing high-end decor, mirror finishes start at $127.44, and these stunning new soft matte pastels begin at $146.00. Now, within those solid colors, you basically have 2 distinct paths. On one hand, you've got the standard solid colors. These are fully opaque, vivid pigments across over 20 codes, like Blue 2051 or Red 2423. These are really your workhorses for brand-matched multi-store rollouts. On the other hand, you've got the 9000 series colors. These are your fluorescence and special effects variants. If you're building high-visibility safety signage or maybe a retail pop-up that needs to literally scream for attention, this is your go-to. They do come in at a slightly higher price point, but the visual impact is just totally worth it. Let's jump into Section 3, inspiring applications and uses. The applications here are genuinely limitless, but this cell-cast colored acrylic truly shines in a few key areas. I mean, imagine walking into a flagship retail store and seeing brand-perfect, glossy display risers and point-of-sale fixtures that match their logo flawlessly. Or think of the glowing edges of a laser-cut, polished award base, or even a striking architectural feature wall utilizing vivid red panels. Because this material is fully opaque and pigmented all the way through, it performs beautifully whether you're looking directly at the glossy face or gazing at the laser-cut edge. But hey, a huge part of your success literally comes down to choosing the right gauge to match the job. The 2.8mm, which is roughly 1/8 of an inch, is pretty much your standard for laser-cut overlays, decorative craft panels, and basic sign faces. You'll want to step up to the 4.3mm for rigid display structures. And if you're an architectural fabricator building large structural color panels or big feature elements, definitely grab the robust 5.5mm or 1/4 inch gauge. You're going to need that extra rigidity to prevent any bowing. All right, Section 4, fabrication and tech specs. Okay, so the workflow for this material is highly predictable, assuming you follow a few basic steps. First, select your thickness, but, and this is crucial, keep that masking on during all fabrication steps to protect that beautiful glossy finish. For cutting, a CO2 laser is going to give you beautifully polished edges right off the bed. If you're CNC routing instead, make sure you grab a sharp, single flute upcut spiral carbide bit to avoid edge chipping. Step 3, engraving, is fantastic because laser engraving actually reveals a lighter subsurface beneath the pigmented layer, which creates instant, high-contrast text or logos. Finally, for bonding, just use a thin solvent cement like Weldon 4. Pre-fit your pieces dry, apply the solvent, and boom, you get a clear, permanent, and visible joint. When you dig into the actual technical specs, cast PMMA has a heat deflection of 95 degrees Celsius. But here's the fun part. What makes it an absolute joy to work with is the thermoforming range. If you hit it with a strip heater or pop it in an oven between 140 and 180 degrees Celsius, it becomes beautifully pliable and it locks into its new shape perfectly once cooled. Now, one really important note on the UV resistance, it is moderate. Standard colors are going to hold up just fine for short to medium outdoor use, but if you're building permanent outdoor signage, you'll definitely want to apply a UV protective coating to prevent long-term fading. Finally, Section 5, Ordering, Shipping, and Perks. All right, Fidar system has set up some really flexible fulfillment options tailored perfectly for B2B fabricators and wholesale sign shops. And their whole goal is to take the stress out of logistics. If you're local, you can totally take advantage of free warehouse pickup in North York. If you're within 30 kilometers, they offer this remarkable $29.90 flat rate local delivery. They also have cut-to-size options if you don't want to wrestle with full 4x8 sheets in your shop, plus volume pricing if you're ordering 10 or more sheets of the exact same SKU. And of course, they have Canada-wide freight quotes readily available for shops further out. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate perk for your project margins. As detailed right there on fidarsystem.com, they actually offer free delivery on your very first order and on any order over $700 CAD. Standard terms and conditions apply, of course, but think about it. For a wholesale fabricator moving large volumes of material, getting heavy, palletized sheets delivered completely for free is literally a game changer. So, we've covered the sourcing, the vibrant colors, the clear-cut pricing on the page, and the fabrication specs. The only question left is, what will you build for your next big rollout? Whether you need optical clarity, vivid standard solids, or striking fluorescent pastels, you now have the ultimate roadmap. Head over to fidarsystem.com to find your perfect match. Check out their pricing details and definitely take advantage of that free shipping offer. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy fabricating.